What do you think about the face mask?
I think the face mask it pushes down on your nose a little bit, but it feels like it's got a great seal around here. Um, I don't know if it's just my face or I have a big chin, but it feels like it's pushing against my chin a little bit right here. But it's a pretty darn good seal. There's a little bit of air leak out the top towards my eyes. Way better than a surgical mask. It's definitely way better than a surgical mask, but it's still not quite a good, disposable N95 fit. Um, I think I think a little bit of adjustments, maybe a little bit thinner, and you may be able to get it to be a little bit more pliable to the person's face, and maybe just with a hair dryer, they can heat it to sort of the size of their face, and
Cool.
just keep working on it. This is
Alrighty.
great.
Hey everybody, I wanted to give you a look at this N90 or face mask. I'm not going to call it an N95 mask that I 3D printed using Copper3D's new antimicrobial TPU filament. This is a 500 gram spool. It's really neat stuff. It's wild. This is traditional PLA, so you look, it's got kind of that springy, effect to it. Whereas this is the TPU, which it's hard to really describe, but it feels a little bit like a vinyl wire shielding. It's like a wire this gauge. It has a very similar feel to that wire. So last night, and this is my first time printing with TPU, so it is and was a learning experience. So last night I printed this, and you can see I printed the mask itself out of the TPU, and I printed this little filter insert out of PLA. I think it would make sense to do this out of the copper TPU as well, but after I had some print trouble here, I wanted to use this stuff very sparingly. I do want to say, though, that one of the things I think that's really awesome about this is the flexibility of it. This allows the mask to fit just a huge wide range of facial features and face sizes. And so I think then the big issue becomes fit. And so my wife and I were working with it a little bit this morning, and she thought a foam piece or something up here that allowed more molding would help. I also think that I'm not great at modeling, but if we could pull the bridge up, or this part of the nose, if we could bring that up, it would improve. I think that the model is a fantastic start. I love the way the filter cartridge goes in. I think it's works great. I did a test. This is PM 2.5 mask material, so this will filter out any particles up to, or down to 2.5 microns, and the coronavirus droplets that they're talking about, I believe, are at the 3 micron level. So this should do the trick, assuming we can get all of the airflow going in and out through the filter. So getting a great seal here is important, and my wife has spent a lot of hours in mask fitting classes, so she knows what a good fit feels like, and she's helping me get it there. So I am working a little bit on trying to thin down the model a little bit. It took about, I want to say, 3 hours and 40 minutes to print the mask itself. But if you look, the thickness of the mask is pretty thick. I think that it will only get more flexible if it was reduced by 30% or so. Reduce the print time and yeah, use less filament, get more masks made, and help out more folks. So again, no illusions that this is a substitute for proper PPE. This is a use in the event of emergency only. I've printed about 100 of the Prusa face shields and been delivering those to our local public health, and they're gobbling those up, but they do have an even greater need for masks. So I think looking and finding a way to make a mask with some sort of replaceable filter or filter cartridge is huge. And so I think this is based on I think it's called the Billings mask. It was a physician, Dr. Richardson, I believe, out of Billings, Montana, who came up with this model and started working on them, and they started producing them there. And again, I think it's a fantastic model. I love the idea of printing it, this side down on the build plate so that you can get a nice contoured edge, which is something that a 3D printer is great at. There are things 3D printers are great at. There are things they aren't great at, and but a contour like that is something that it can do well. And so I'm going to be printing more tests in PLA just because I need to conserve this. I only got 2 spools. This was about 550 grams, so I'd only get about 9 masks per spool. Trying to get a design that works well enough to be able to outfit my wife's medical clinic in the event that they are all out here in the next couple weeks. Thanks very much for listening. Bye bye.